Hey all, it's Nim or Nimicry if you're feeling professional, and welcome to the YouTube video. Now today, we're going to be talking about kind of a sad issue, and that's Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker has been delayed by 2 weeks. Now, there's going to be a lot of content creators and a lot of Twitter comments and things like that, people raging about, oh my god, oh this thing, how could you do this? That's not going to be this video. We're going to go over the letter that Naoki Yoshida wrote. We're going to try to approach this in a level, calm, understanding manner, because Final Fantasy has been good to us, so let's grant it grace, hear out the reasons, and make our judgments from there. But before we get started, if you like what I do, go on and click subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you can stay up to date with everything the channel does, and if you don't, well, okay then. That being said, you'll also see a list of patrons on screen right now. Those wonderful people support a small content creator like myself, and if you'd like to join their ranks, you can at patreon.com/Nimicry. That's Nimicry. But without further ado, the letter that has rocked the internet, or at least the Final Fantasy XIV part of the internet, tonight. And here we have the Endwalker letter. Now, obviously, Yoshi P was breaking down in tears during the live letter when this was happening. So, I implore everybody who watches this, please don't attack the devs. Please don't attack the devs. Right? That will accomplish nothing. Let's find out why, and then you can make your criticisms, and you can make your critiques, and you can make your things, and you can unsub and do whatever you want, but please don't attack the devs personally. Just as I wouldn't attack any devs for Fortnite, or Call of Duty, or Battlefield, or any RTS game, or anything. Don't attack them. This is a leadership decision, not an individual dev decision. Now, on to the piece. Greetings, Final Fantasy XIV players. This is producer and director Naoki Yoshida. First and foremost, I would like to extend my thanks to everyone playing Final Fantasy XIV and looking forward to our upcoming expansion pack, Endwalker. However, it is with great regret that I must inform you of some unfortunate news just before our scheduled launch date, and I would like you to read the following in full. So, postpone your pitchforks. So, postponing the release of Endwalker. I am incredibly sorry to share this so close to launch, but I have decided to postpone the release of Endwalker. The original release date was scheduled for Tuesday, November 23rd, 2021, but I've now decided to delay the release by 2 weeks. As such, the expansion pack will be released on Tuesday, December 7th, 2021. There are several reasons for the postponement, but as I'm the one overseeing all aspects of the title as head of the project, the responsibility falls solely on me. Allow me to convey my sincerest apologies to our players, our warriors of light all around the world, who have been looking so forward to the release of Endwalker. I am truly sorry. The new schedule, including early access, is outlined below. Now, before we continue, right there, listen, this is not great news. I want to play Endwalker. I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy XIV. I like all the Final Fantasies for the most part. I was really looking forward to, going to the moon, right? Awesome. Excited. But I like that there's not an obfuscation. It's like, blame falls on me. Me. Buck stops here. I like that. As opposed to wishy-washy, well, we need more time to do various things and all that such. And while there is a there is a little bit of that, because obviously they're not going to detail exactly what happens where, which systems are causing problems. The fact that, again, the lead director, producer, head of the project is like, hey, I screwed up, and I am sorry. I like that. To me, it feels good. And it makes it seem like people actually care. So for Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, the official release date is Tuesday, December 7th, 2021. The start of early access is Friday, December 3rd, 2021. The patch 6.01 scheduled release is Tuesday, December 21st, 2021. And the patch 6.05 scheduled release date is Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. Okay, pretty simple. Now, we have the reason for the schedule change. The biggest factor behind the release date changes was my own selfishness as the game's director. Ever since I was placed in charge of the original Final Fantasy XIV, I've continued the development and operations for Final Fantasy XIV over the past 11 years, while always endeavoring to balance my position as producer overseeing the project and director in charge of development. It was my intention to work in the same manner as we approach the final stages of Endwalker's development. As I have mentioned previously in interviews and during live streams, Endwalker will be the largest expansion pack in Final Fantasy XIV. It has been a huge undertaking, but we proceeded with development following plans that would allow us to make it in time for the originally scheduled release date Although admittedly, everything would be down right to the wire. So, right there, it seems as if ambitious goals were set, timetables didn't line up, and in order to make goals, timetable has to be stretched a little bit. All right, as opposed to, well, we cut this, and it's fine. But again, this is me editorializing. Let's continue. However, as we neared the end of development, and I played through everything, from quests to battle content and the like, I just couldn't contain my desire to further improve Endwalker's quality, specifically because this expansion pack marks the first major culmination of events in Final Fantasy XIV so far. Even as we look beyond Endwalker, the Final Fantasy XIV story will continue for a long time, and we hope to deliver many more enjoyable experiences in the game. However, it was precisely because Endwalker concludes the first major saga that I felt our team needed to push ourselves to the limits that I envisioned. As a result, we remained firmly resolved to adjust down to the smallest nuances and ensure our writing covers even the finest points of the vast and intricate story that has spanned these past 11 years since the original Final Fantasy XIV, to ensure that everyone can fully enjoy their adventure and Endwalker. Unfortunately, the consequence of this was that we ended up in a situation where we cut into the time required for final quality assurance checks due to the time spent on additional improvements. At this rate, there was a bigger risk of us reaching the release date without ensuring stability as one form of quality, and for that reason, I've decided to postpone release at this time. As we also anticipate large amounts of congestion across all game worlds, I felt that even in this respect, it wouldn't be right for us to release the expansion while lacking adequate stability. I'm truly sorry. Alright, so here's the thing. I've been in numerous MMORPG launches, and every time it's rough. Every launch is rough. I did WoW launches for years. I've been in many Final Fantasy launches. I've done WildStar. I've done a bunch of other games. And I've been in launches, and launches are always rough because the servers, that's when they get there, and everybody wants it. Everybody wants it. And it makes sense. It's a new game. People paid for the game. People want to play the game. And usually your MMO fans, like your COD fans, like your FIFA fans, like your things, when it's a new game, you're like, yeah, let me in. You're like, and you go, and you actually see big streamers, such as Asmongold, when he was trying to get into New World, the New World launch experience. It was basically a queue simulator. At least for me, if I watched it, it would have been a queue simulator, because I'm not logging in, and he's not logging in, so I can watch that count down. So the fact that they are taking time to ensure quality and smoothness and stability, because nothing would piss me off more than logging in, going through a queue, then being like, oh, I'm in, I can go to Charlotte, DC. Now I gotta wait through queue again. And I'm not the only one. So that would piss me off. And I'm glad that they're taking time to ensure stability and final polish, because the reason the game is good is because it has a lot of care and polish. So, if you want people to rush it ahead, then they're sacrificing the care and polish. And thus, the quality of your product drops. And yeah, you might get that initial dopamine rush and be like, well, this is messed up. Why is it so unstable? Well, you told us to put it out. Oh, well, we wanted it. Why wasn't there? And then explain this. There's only so much time in the day. That being said, is it a failure of management to not set adequate goals and timeframes? Absolutely. And Naoki Yoshida has acknowledged their failure. When I look at my own career, up until now, I have never postponed a previously announced release date, although I did once shift a release date from spring to early summer. And when I also consider that many players have already made arrangements such as taking days off work in preparation for the original release date, I was incredibly torn between whether or not we should cut down the expansion pack's volume or even release more content in installments. As such, I humbly ask you all to forgive me for this decision I've made. Listen, that person right there is understanding that people, everyday working people who may go to work at a job they may not like, come back and be like, man, I'm looking forward to this one thing that I get to do to relax. And they have to be like, not yet. And they're asking for apologies. So that's more than Blizzard would ever say. They might be like, oh yeah, we're sorry. We'll get it out as soon as you can. And maybe people are like, oh, well, you're just mad at Blizzard because of whatever reason. And maybe that might be true a little bit. Sure, I'm not a machine. I'm not perfectly unbiased, but this doesn't read like a PR statement. This reads like a personal letter. And maybe they have really good PR people. I don't know, but I'm gonna Occam's Razor. Do they have really amazing good PR people that no other multi-billion-dollar company have, or did a person who cares personally write this? I don't know. Let's look at Occam's Razor. What answers the most assumes the least. Now, final remarks and looking toward the future. While we have postponed the release date by 2 weeks, I believe we have been able to successfully depict Endwalker's story because we set forth on this long journey developing and operating Final Fantasy XIV together with the players. While we require a little longer until the expansion pack's release, please rest assured that we will continue investing every ounce of our strength into development and operations in order to deliver an immersive adventure to our players. Once more, I would like to convey my sincerest apologies for the inconvenience caused to our players and my colleagues due to my own shortcomings. I sincerely apologize for this decision. We will continue to do our utmost to bring you the best experience, not only in Endwalker, but also through further updates and content that will follow, restoring your trust one step at a time. Naoki Yoshida, Final Fantasy XIV producer and director. Now that was a letter there written, and I'm going to be honest with you, that's a pretty good letter. I am looking forward to Endwalker. I've been looking forward to Endwalker for months. I got it the day that you could pre-purchase it. I bought it because I was looking forward to it. And I'm okay with having 2 weeks delay. As for the people who may have scheduled vacation, I am sorry. I do hope that your place of employment is at least mildly flexible. While they may not be, and I'm sorry that happened, that was acknowledged as being one of the main things that made it hard for this man to go either, or for this person, sorry, I don't know if it's a male or female, for this person to go yay or nay. And I can understand, that's a lot, because that speaks of a gamer. The fact that I want to take a lot of time to really get in here and get my teeth into this, and I can't if I have to go to work at 6 in the morning and it releases at 10 at night. You know, that's my time for sleep, and even if I get a couple hours, I'm still going to be like, oh, I want more and more and more. So I implore the community right now, anybody watching this, please do not take your anger out on the devs, right? Don't do it. Don't take your anger out on the devs. Don't take your anger out on the director. Don't take your anger out on Square Enix. Just realize that a rushed game is bad forever, and a delayed game can be made good. And that comes from Shigeru Miyamoto, the father of Mario, right? The man knows a lot. We should probably listen to that wisdom in this instance. Now, am I saying you shouldn't be upset? No. No, you can be upset. Just don't take that upsetness and be immature or inappropriate towards the developers who make a product that you love or like, because that's not productive. That's not going to do anything. If anything, it might make the game take a little bit longer, be a little less polished. It may not be noticed by so many people, but they'll know. They'll know. Guys, I know this was a sad video, and I'm sorry for that, but I want you to know it was important to make. Now, you're going to see people out there, again, who are raging and trying to get outrage clicks and do all that stuff, and while people will have their own content strategies, I want you to know here, we try to have a measured approach towards most things, and I personally save my outrage for things that I find actually outrageous. This letter, again, reads like somebody who is writing a confession and is genuinely sorry. Well, if you agree with me or disagree with me, you can let me know in the comments below. If you like what I do, you can always subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with everything the channel does. In addition, if you want to have a longer conversation, there's a Discord link down below. You can follow my Twitter at Nimicry, that's Nimicry. And of course, for those truly wishing to go above and beyond, there is a Patreon. And that supports me and helps grow. You can gain exclusive perks and some access things at patreon.com/Nimicry. That's Nimicry. This was a video that I had to make, and I'm glad that eventually Endwalker will be fine. I'm looking forward to December having more fun with Endwalker. And I hope that you enjoyed this video, and may the mount you're farming drop on the first kill. Bye.